My name is Salim Vuria, the Cabinet Secretary, Youth Affairs, Creative Economy and Sports, Republic of Kenya. Dear Kenyans, we are ready to host CHAN 2024 tournament. Let us show the world our patriotism, our passion for football, and our warm hospitality. This is not just a tournament, it is a celebration of our nation's pride. Join us in Nairobi as we welcome the continent and the world to experience the thrill of CHAN 2024. It is our time to shine. Let us make CHAN 2024 a great success and rally behind our team, Harambee Stars. Hashtag Jaza Study.
Good morning, Vivian. Good morning, Mike.
A very good morning,
Victor. Good morning, team.
It's a brand new week.
It's a brand new week.
Yeah.
Yes. Somebody says 21st day. 21st day of July.
Whoever that person is, they need to go back to their primary school teacher and get their refund.
I'd want to meet them.
It should be 21. 21th? I'm a 23rd, 22th.
22. It's the argument of, because 11 is...
11.
22 is 22. Why is 11 not 21?
21. I'm a 22th, 23rd, 33rd minute.
Let's just stick to 21st and leave it at that.
All right, that sounds better. Good morning. Welcome to Good Morning Kenya. It's a very good Monday morning. Welcome to the program. My name is Victor Olo. I hope you had a fantastic weekend. Now, go out there and conquer the world, because it's a clean slate. Let's start all over fresh. It's a new day, it's a new week. So you go out there and conquer the world, because, we all have all it takes. We all have the strength, we all have the power, the will, the faith, but above all, we have God in us. All right, today I have got Cabinet Secretary for Ministry of Public Service, Human Resource Development and Special Programs. That is Godfrey Ruko. He'll be here shortly. Let's talk about performance and delivery, service delivery in public service, because that is basically the engine that drives this country. Human resource, public service. He's been going across the country, locking some of the public servants out of office because of reporting late to work. So today I want us to ask that and so much more. What is in store for this country? And of course, this is his first live interview ever since he was appointed as the Cabinet Secretary exactly 3 months ago. And the last interview he had here with me. And we wish him all the best.
Yes.
He's coming here to say asante. I hope he's coming to say asante. So
for our all the best.
Yeah, for all the best. So he's here. He'll be here very shortly. But the whole team is here, lady and gentlemen. Yes. Vivian.
All right. Yes, it is a brand new week, and as Victor has said, it's a clean slate for you to decide how the week is gonna be for you. And today we're going to be looking at navigating new challenges and opportunities, specifically in raising the next generation in this digital age. So our topic of conversation is parenting in the digital age. We started this conversation last week, and we're going to be having a continuation of it today, just to try and see what opportunities are there and the challenges. Most of you are talking about the challenges of raising children in this digital age. You know, the the dangers that are there just for young children being on social media, and you don't get to monitor what they're doing with their social media, toddlers having gadgets and all of that. How are you supposed to navigate that as a parent, being that right now the gadgets seem like the caretakers, or the, what do we call this thing that you give a baby when they're crying, and then you put them in, you put it in their mouth. That particular thing seems like the gadget is taking over. When the child is being nagging, you just give them the phone and they're okay. So how are we going to navigate that? That is the conversation that we will be having today, and I will be joined by one Isabella Mariga, who's the principal, Sitam Schools, Athi River, and then we'll also be having Mike, who is a trainer, a mentor, and the CEO, Pro Mentors Africa. You definitely want to stay tuned for that conversation. They'll be coming in at exactly 9 a.m. Mike, what do we have today from you?
Of course, Monday sets the pace for the week, and today we are looking at two different things. One of them being the Kenya's triple threat. We are talking about HIV, GBV, and also adolescent pregnancies, because those are some of the things that undermine the well-being of women and young girls. And I'll be talking to Steve Oyugi from the National Systemic Disease Control Council. He will be joining me live from Kisumu to talk about this matter. And also I'll be having another conversation with Edmund Zakaria, who is a PWD advocate and champion. We are looking at the plight of PWDs, that is people living with disabilities, given that according to Kenya Population and Housing Census of 2019, 2.2% of the population are people living with disabilities. So how has their plight been addressed? That is one of the things that we shall be tackling later on in the program. I want to interest you also with a quote just to buttress what my colleagues have said. Now, don't brood. Get on with living and loving. You do not have forever. Don't brood. Get on with living and loving. You do not have forever. Welcome to the program. This is Good Morning Kenya. My name is Mike Migwe. Victor?
All right. So, yes, the entire team is set. Let's take a very short break, and when we come back, we are going to take you through what we have on the local dailies, and thereafter we'll get into a substantive discussion with CS Godfrey Ruko. Stay with us.
Wakenya wenzangu, this August, something big is happening. Chan 2024 is here, and Harambee Stars are ready to shine. Let us come together and support our boys as they fight for glory. From the first whistle to the last goal, let us cheer loud and proud. Tune in to KBC Channel 1 and let's cheer our boys. Because when Harambee Stars win, Kenya wins. Twende kazi, Team Kenya, all the way.
All right, welcome back. And now let's take a look at what we have on the front page of our local dailies, starting with the ladies. Vivian, let's do this.
All right, I have with me a copy of The Star this morning. And just to let you know what is in The Star, what they're covering today, on the main page, we have Kenyans feel the pinch as family burden intensifies. That is a story that is on page 4 to 5. And it says that an average breadwinner in Kenya supports up to 12 dependents. And then on still on the front page, we have the newly launched Matatu, or do we call them Nganya? Yes, the newly launched Nganya that is Mood. So it's right there on the front page. And the Mood Matatu has NTSA's approved custom number plates, 26 bucket seats with cup holders and charging ports, installed air condition unit, push to start ignition, backup solar power, and cockpit DJ decks. The vehicle's launch happened at KICC. And then another story, weak link in Gen Z United Front, no clear demand. That is from Wycliffe Muga. And then if I may go in to page 4 and 5, where it says breadwinners paying as dependency ratio goes up in tough economy. Now, there's just put an outline just stating how things may be looking at the moment, and it shows that 1.2 million people have been pushed out of formal jobs per year since the year 2020. 83.2% of pensioners in Kenya still have dependents. And then we have young people aged 18 to 24, and those over the age of 25, most of them still depend on retirees. And then we have 34% of Kenyans have maintained the same income levels as in 2023. Only 22% are earning more. 46% of Kenyans belong to the so-called sandwich generation, and then 78% of Kenyans have seen their earnings decline since the year 2020, and then the dependency ratio has increased from 1.5 to 1, from 1:5 rather, to 1:12 since the year 2020. So economic tough times right there. That story is clearly put out on page 4 and 5, so you can get a copy of The Star and get to read into that. Then we also have share prices rally as directors increase stake in listed firms. The top managers trend is inspiring hope about future of the company. And then another story here, we have Phoebe Asio, the woman who opened doors for gender balance. As the country comes to terms with the loss of Phoebe Muga Asio, who passed on peacefully in the USA, many recall with awe her immense contributions as a matriarch, whose brave resolve to have women get a significant voice is viewed with satisfaction. So there's a story of the late Phoebe Asio on page 2 of The Star. Another story right here on The Star, we have financial discipline key to long-term success for small medium enterprises, and that is a story that has been laid out on page 6 of The Star. From a roadside kibanda, Kilifi woman builds catering empire. There's a story of that woman who is inspiring women and the generation out there, and it has been put out on page 7 of The Star. There's also another story right here where mentor your kids, cops are not trained in parenting. And that is what the president mentioned over the weekend, whereby he said that, parents have the responsibility of mentoring their kids, and that story has been laid out on page 9. As I wind up on what is on the Star this morning, ODM joins battle for Gen Z vote with young captains relaunch. ODM has rolled out strategic plan to tap into the Gen Z demographic as it lays groundwork for 2027 general elections. Over the weekend, the party relaunched its Young Captains chapter, a wing within the ODM Women League comprising young women from institutions of higher learning. You can get to read that story on page 11 of the Star. And just looking at what has been laid out matters sports rather, we have perfect dry run. Sekafa 4 Nations tournament crucial in Chan preps. Harambee Stars head coach Binnie McCarthy feels the team has enough depth to contend for a major title after adjusting the roster to include new players. Now, McCarthy spoke after officially naming a 25-man squad set to represent Kenya at the Sekafa 4 Nations tournament, which will be kicking off this week in Tanzania. And the tournament will act as a crucial test for the national team ahead of the Chan Games that are coming up. I don't know what is on the Nation newspaper or the Standard. Let's go for the Standard, Mike.
Yeah, indeed. What is captured on the front page of the Standard today? DCI gone rogue. This is what is on the front page of the Standard. From arresting politicians critical of Ruto administration over the remarks to accusing rights activists of terrorism, the Directorate of Criminal Investigations has veered from laughable to the outright absurd. Tasked with bringing science and professionalism to law enforcement, the agency now resembles a political hit squad that is doing the bidding of the powerful by enforcing vendettas, silencing critics and trampling on fundamental freedoms with impunity. DCI boss Mohammed Amin appears hell-bent on dragging Kenya into the ranks of pariah states so long as he keeps the ruling elite satisfied. That is what is captured on the front page of the Standard. That story is also fleshed out on page 4 and 5 of the same newspaper. It's fleshed out on page 4 of the Standard newspaper. DCI officers are being misused to settle political scores, critics say. When he was deputy president, Ruto accused the DCI of being weaponized for political gain. Now, as president, the same unit is being accused of openly targeting his opponent. Read the story on page 4 of the Standard newspaper. Rights groups decry crackdown on state critics, fault ODPP's role. That story is told on page 5. They say activist Boniface Mwangi's arrest is an attempt to muzzle government critics. They called for urgent reform on Kenya's prosecutorial and judicial system. That story is told on page 5 of the Standard. Regulator urged to delist farms abusing guards. Read that story on page 5 of the Standard. Rift Valley's political spine cracks as Fairy legacy succumbs to loyalty. The region was known for producing leaders who are unafraid to challenge state. Now analysts say it has been reduced to blind executive loyalty and misogynistic rhetoric. That story is told on page 6 of the Standard newspaper. Ruto turns on the charm to woo Luhya Nation. That story is told on page 7 of the Standard newspaper. The community is now visible in power circles and high-profile state jobs. A significant appointment is that of Major General Bernard Waliaula as the Kenya Air Force Commander. That story is fleshed out on page 7 of the Standard newspaper. From CJ to politics, judge who could become king. That story is told on page 8 and is talking about the former CJ, that is retired CJ David Maraga. When Maraga retired, many expected him to retreat quietly from public life following his reserved demeanor. Now he is eyeing the top seat following what he perceives as sustained violations of the Constitution he fiercely defended. Read that story on page 8 of the Standard. And finally, how elders enable sex pests to evade justice. That story is told on page 9 of the Standard. The family of the perpetrator engages the survivors' relatives for settlements. Among the 214 girls who attended the antenatal clinic, 40 were HIV positive. That story is told on page 9 of the Standard. And finally, sports. Harambee Stars renew rivalry with Uganda. Kenya will use the Sekafa 4 Nations tournament to prepare for CHAN. Coach McCarthy keen to build momentum in Tanzania ahead of the champion. That is what is captured on the Standard newspaper today. Victor?
Very good. Allow me to start with, on the other side, now, with sports. Michezo kidogo, sindio?
Yes, yeah.
Harambee Stars play Tanzania in 2024 CHAN warm-up journey tournament. That is Kenya, Senegal, Uganda, and the home team to use week-long Arusha tournament to prepare for Africa event. They are in TZ. Coach McCarthy to use 4 Nations tournament in Arusha to choose Kenya's squad. That is what is here on the back page when we start with the sports. So today's fixtures, let me give you today's fixtures. Kenya versus Tanzania versus Kenya will be at 3 p.m. And on Thursday, Kenya will play Senegal and Uganda will play Tanzania. That is on Thursday. And on Friday, Uganda will face Senegal. And then on Sunday, Kenya versus Uganda, and finally Tanzania versus Senegal. That would be an interesting match. So today, Harambee Stars go at exactly 3 p.m. Two-time African Nations Championship winners, Morocco, who are scheduled to play host Kenya in Group A of the upcoming tournament, have intensified their preparations with 2 friendly matches against Burkina Faso. That is in sports. Jitters as Knock Kenya goes to polls. Death of KBF President Otula has left Cycling Federation boss Mose unchallenged for position of deputy treasurer. That is in the sports. And then again, Isaiah Ihoni, final farewell for boxer from Nakuru's famed class. He was one of the best boxers in the 80s, way back, and now it's a farewell for the champ. Very thick. Now, let's go to the front page. Raila, I'm with Ruto until 2027. That is on the front page of the Daily Nation. Raila, I'm with Ruto until 2027. That was an exclusive, interview with the NTV. Orange Democratic Movement leader Raila Odinga has, for the first time, ruled out an early political exit from the broad-based government, with the Kenya Kwanza administration declaring that he is firmly aligned with President William Ruto, at least until 2027 general election. So Raila also said that he had several proposals. One, to do away with the voter register and allow Kenyans to cast their ballots using only the identity cards. He also criticized impeached Deputy President Rigathi Gachagua as quote-unquote divisive. KDF locks meal allowance in new storm, and by the way, this is going to raise a lot of debate when this is as far as this is concerned, because voter register has been used for a very long time when during elections, and now he's proposing that that should be done away with and Kenyans to be allowed to vote using their identity cards. Activist Boniface Mwangi to face terrorism charges. He will be arraigned today after 2 days in police cells. Actually, he was arrested over the weekend at his house. Kenya Defense Forces personnel will no longer directly access their meal cash allowances after a directive from military leadership locked the funds under the newly implemented pay-as-you-eat system. So the story here has it that since the meal allowance forms part of gross pay, some personnel have used it to secure loans. So that is one of the reasons. However, a new internal memo now instructs that the allowance be paid through Defense Savings and Credit Cooperative Society, that is DSACO, and partially locked within the KDF booking meal app. So it's now a case where some personnel are using that money to secure loans. The allowance was introduced in 2000 when breakfast and dinner provisions were abolished and has since been reviewed upwards over the years to cushion service members against inflation. There is a case here of drug abuse in East Africa. Methamphetamine, growing availability headache for Africa. So cannabis sativa, or bang if you like, remains the most abused illicit substance in East and Southern Africa. But methamphetamine, yes, an increasingly available and dangerous synthetic stimulant, is fast emerging as the region's biggest drug threat, according to a new report. So we have to be very careful, and that's what I have it. So Boniface Mwangi will be arraigned today. His arrest has triggered sharp condemnation from civil society organizations, legal experts, and political figures who accuse the government of misusing anti-terrorism laws to criminalize peaceful dissent and suppress civic education. Let's wait and see how that will go. Now, let's talk about that story by Raila Odinga. He said that he's going to support President William Ruto until 2027. So, according to the former Prime Minister, he said that he'll continue working with President Ruto until the current arrangement, until the next polls, and will not engage in premature 2027 succession talks until the government has delivered on its promises. However, he also dropped a political bombshell likely to stir debate, proposing sweeping electoral reforms, including the abolition of the voter register and a bold call to allow Kenyans to vote using only their national identification cards. You know, Vivian and Mike, you know, in some established, you know, jurisdictions, other countries,
yes,
people even vote online.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
You really don't have to go to a polling station and cast your vote.
Yeah.
Yes.
I don't know whether that is possible or not possible in this country, but let me ask you, we all have money transaction apps
Yes.
in this country, which cannot be hacked. And in fact, it's revealed to be one of the most safe
Yes.
and secure apps
In the entire world.
in the entire world.
Yeah.
So for you to hack it, it's a bit of a problem. Then my question is, why not just procure such a system and help Kenyans vote?
That would solve a lot of problems.
Yeah.
Because if you look at it,
You get it? Yes.
Yeah.
The same way you can do an M-Pesa transaction, let's just, okay, money transaction.
Yes.
Yeah.
You simply have your ID
Yeah.
and boom, money sent.
Yes.
So that's it.
It will save a lot of time because the system that we use when it comes to voting, you see, you have to vote at a polling station where you are registered.
Yes.
Yeah.
Meaning if you are inconvenienced and you are not able to go to that polling station, then you cannot vote.
Yeah.
So in a way, it undermines your constitution. The system that we use now, in a way, it undermines your constitutional right to vote. So if we adopted whatever you're saying, Victor, to such a system, I think things would change, and people will not even be worried about moving around to vote.
Yeah.
They'll be just casting votes from where they are and make their voice count in as far as governance and leadership is concerned in this country.
It should really go a long way if we got to that point, because even as you talk about matters, some being needed to travel in order for them to go to the places or jurisdictions where they are able to cast their votes, even to avoid the long queues that we normally get to witness during the voting periods, you know. And for most people, sometimes people evade going to cast their poll because it is a responsibility of every citizen above the age of 18 to do that. So most people would evade it because, well, they don't want to go and stand there on the long queues for hours and hours on end. But I don't know just how possible that would be right here in the country. I feel like it's a bit far-fetched. I don't know.
I think it is possible. Who knew
As
that
it is
one
at the
point
moment,
you
I
would
feel
buy-
it's far-fetched. Like, what are we looking at? What are our projections in terms of the year that we would be able to do that?
Okay, question is, who knew that at one point you would use the kits to vote? We did it in the last election. Much as we had our own fair share of problems here and there, network issues, some, running out of charge and all that, but we still used it.
Yeah.
I think it's just possible. The only thing is that
yeah.
in this country, elections is a matter of life and death. Let's just face it.
Yes.
It's so chaotic. And if you have been in power and you're seeking for a re-election, believe you me, I don't think there is any politician who would be like, okay, fine, let's go with that idea, because some of them like it when there is a voter register in their respective constituencies, either wards or even in the county, whichever.
Yeah.
But having a voter register struck out and you making Kenyans to vote using their IDs, well, in terms of time management, that would be okay.
Yeah.
Number two, this, according to me and my own opinion, this would also facilitate many Kenyans with national IDs to take part in that, that exercise.
Yeah.
But I don't know the reason why Honorable Raila Odinga is proposing the abolition of the voter register. I'm not so sure about that. Not so sure about that.
If we reverted to using our national IDs, then it means there would be a period before elections that it is mandatory to verify the details of the IDs and to make sure that whatever ID that every Kenyan is holding is original, because we are living in the digital age and anything is possible. Even fake IDs do exist. Yes. But I don't think it's a far-fetched idea, really. It's something that could be
Vision
piloted.
2037?
Probably.
I don't see it. Of course, not 2027. So probably 32
Yeah.
or 37. Yeah.
What about 2027? We should 2027. We can do it.
I don't think
We
so.
can do it. Okay.
Yeah.
Let's do this. Raila unveils plan for grassroots-led national dialogue. He said, actually, dubbed the intergenerational conclave. Mr. Odinga plan envisions a layered bottom-up process that brings together Kenyans from across the country to deliberate on pressing issues and also propose solutions. This will culminate in a national forum of grassroots delegates, members of parliament, civil society, and other key stakeholders. That is according to him. It seems that between now and 2027 election, we are going to have a lot of things running.
Yeah.
Several conferences, symposium, everything running. It's going to be so hectic for us. So, Ruto, I didn't promise. I raised Kenyans' ambitions. President says that his administration on track to deliver all it pledged for Kenyans. President, he also brushed off routine public criticism and defended his administration performance in the face of rising discontent. Vivian, you said the president said, actually he said that he also blames whatever we are facing the country for lack of proper parenting.
Yeah.
It's not the first time he said that. A few months ago, he also said the same thing, Mike, that it was immediately after the first 2024 protest that he raised the same.
Yes.
That poor parenting can lead to such.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, regarding Gachagua allies growing some cold feet, that's the question here. Why ex-DP's allies want to resign anytime soon? Ningumu.
Politics.
Ningumu.
Politics.
So former DP Gachagua had announced in February that some of his allies were waiting the keyword is waiting for the reconstitution of IBC before resigning from President William Ruto's UDA's party.
That was sensationalism. That was sensationalism.
Resign, Vivian, resign and go home.
Let's wait and see if we'll get to witness that, It's only a matter of time, to get to see if that's actually the case, or it's just,
But politics in Kenya, can we survive without politics?
Kenya is a political country.
We are very...
Politics runs this nation. Even when you go and just get to sit around people in a group, trust you me, you know, within 3-4 sentences, there'll have to be something political being talked about. So I don't think we're able to live without politics. No. Unfortunately, I'd say unfortunately, because it's not supposed to be the most talked about thing or the thing that is running the nation. There are other things to talk about. Yeah,
mostly it shapes the national discourse most of the time. So I think and Kenyans have become more interested in matters to do with governance, how they are governed and the direction in which the country is taking, which is why I think there's something we cannot run away from. Yeah.
All right.
Okay, so we are taking a very short break, Vivian.
Yes.
And there's a story I saw here. There's a story here. There's a story here. Yes. Trader wins back 3.8 million shillings held by the state. And you know, this money was held in the year 2020. Wow. In the year 2020.
5 years down the line.
Yes. So the High Court has ordered a state agents to release about 3.8 million shillings recovered from a businessman at a roadblock 5 years ago. So while directing the Assets Recovery Agency to release the money recovered in US dollars from one Mohammed Hassan Sharif in 2020, Justin Nixon Sifuna criticized the agency for doing a shoddy job in trying to compel the livestock trader to forfeit the cash to the government. Wow. Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah. See, that's what's happening. Let's take a quick break as we wait for the CS to arrive. We'll be right back. Vivian, tunasema we'll be right back?
We'll be back after the break.
Kwanza saizi ndio unampa motisha ya kupigana na wewe kabisa.
I've met a lot of men like Mark who just bark and can never bite.
Said leave. I want to be alone.
You tumia chakula.
Kufanya nini? Sikuelewi.
Na si umesema dad nikaa amerogwa na kama you tumia chakula.
Would you like somebody who killed your own mother? Fiona, who told you that?
Kama uko tayari, wakati utakuwa tayari, utanitafuta na mimi nitakupa majibu ya kila swali unalo.
Liwa mtoto wetu Joyce ndio wachwe hii nyumba. Wewe angalia uone.
It's just sorry.
Welcome back. I have a very funny producer and director called Windrose, the tallest producer in Kenya. Windrose. Okay, let's talk on polls. Ethnic slur on goals, according to Ruto backers in Mount Kenya. They say the President William Ruto's loyalists in the Mount Kenya region are now sounding the political alarm, claiming that his allies from the other regions are making it increasingly difficult to sell his re-election bid. They are now citing reckless public statements, ethnic slur, that is what is inflammatory remarks about the 2027 general elections and equal empowerment programs, and the failure to contain Deputy President Rigathi Gachagua as factors fueling growing resentment in the region that was instrumental in delivering the 2022 victory. That is what I have here. And now allies of former Deputy President Rigathi Gachagua appear to have rejected his call to resign from their elective seats and seek a fresh mandate under his new political party. According to Mr. Gachagua, they announced in February that some of his allies were waiting for the reconstitution of the Independent Electoral and Boundaries Commission, IBC, before resigning from President William Ruto's United Democratic Alliance Party. And so far, nothing has happened. Now, there's a story here that I really want us to take a look before we get to a discussion. JAC wants judges' pension bill fast-tracked. That is what I have here on the front page, the inner pages of the Daily Nation. If passed, the new law will see retired judges enjoy an increment on their pensions capped at 5%. And now the Commission has now declared a delay in the enactment of Judges' Retirement Bill 2025. If passed, the bill will see retired judges enjoy an increment on their pensions capped at 5%. Currently, pension reviews are undertaken every 2 years, rather, in line with the Pensions Increase Act Cap 190. The Act provides a 3% increment for all pensions, along with other previously granted increases. That is what I have here on the inner pages. And finally, something for the teachers to smile about. Teachers, TSC and teachers told to engage in dialogue in interdiction row. I think this one is also some question that the CS will have to answer. Interdiction row on the public service. And for nearly 3 years, Mr. Peter Kamoet has been jobless, and now the question of interdiction, Labour Court has directed that the matter proceed to mediation in as far as this concerns. So TSC and teachers told to engage in dialogue in interdiction row. That's what I have. Traders, I gave you that story about a trader who's won some money back which was held in there. So finally, in business, let's talk about changes. Stakeholders want for Lamu Port to grow faster. Is one of the facilities that is quite instrumental in the country's economy. Call for complementary road and rail connections to unlock the port's full potential. That is on the inner pages of the Daily Nation. Okay, so our guest is already in studio. I want us to get into that discussion. Bwana Waziri, thank you so much for your time. It's been long coming. Karibu sana. The last interview you had was with me. The next interview you are having with me. I am a privileged man. Karibu.
Thank you so much.
Exactly 90 days since you took office. How has it been, Bwana Waziri?
Yes, it's now 90 days since I took office on behalf of the people of Kenya to be in charge of public service, human capital development, and special program. As a ministry, there are quite a number of issues which we are trying to align.
Yes.
On behalf of the people of Kenya, as far as that ministry is concerned, and of course, led by the President, William Samoei Ruto.
Yes.
Let me start by saying, in terms of the mandate and what the ministry supposed to do. The vision is clear. We are having a transforming the public service delivery. I will be presenting a CAB memo next week to the cabinet so that we can come up with a new way of delivering public service. Okay, of course, you know Kenya has come from far in terms of the way services are delivered. But the moment we want to have a unified digital government, before President William Ruto took over the office, a few public services were digital, but at the moment we have many services, including county government services and national government services, which are on a digital platform at the moment. If you go to your account on eCitizen account, you will see all the services which have been digitized, and of course even the payment of some of these services. So we'll be moving further in that direction. We want to have a unified digital government because at the moment we have disjointed, some of the services are not unified. And I'll give you an example where if you need to make an application for a job, you don't need to attach your certificate because these certificates already are with the certain bodies. If it is Kenya Secondary Education, your certificate is somewhere, it's deposited with Kenya National Examination Council. If it is a university certificate, your university certificate is within a certain university. And that university should be able to provide that information to the Commission of Higher Education. So you don't need to attach these papers. So moving forward in the coming days, you only need to forward the CV only, and all other details about yourself, the employer or whoever is want your CV, you'll be able to access all the details because you'll be having a unified digital. The institutions, the government institutions can be able to talk to each other.
A synchronized system.
Yes, the same case you're seeing at the moment when it comes to hospitals. They are able to talk to each other from the dispensary level to level 2, level 3, level 4, level 5, level 6. At the moment, through the Social Health Authority, there is a system, a digital system, which now even the dispensaries are able to talk to level 3, level 4 hospital. Your details are there when you go to a dispensary and you are referred to level 4 hospital, your details will be there. From level 4 to level 5, your details, you'll find your details there. So in the near future, not very far, probably before the end of next year, we'll be having a unified digital government for the efficiency in terms of service delivery. And that is what Article 232 of our Constitution, which talks about the principles and values of public service, talks about efficiency. The government should be as efficient as possible. We who are in charge of different government dockets, we should ensure we are serving people in a more efficient, cost-effective way as much as possible. That is a call from our very important document.
What has been your priority ever since you took office? Because of course there was somebody who was in office, but now you are coming with your own system of how you want to run the ministry. It's one of the biggest ministry. I mean, public service, human resource management, and special programs. It's a big docket that you're handling. So what is your first priority as we move forward?
First priority, which I'm putting a lot of effort, is to bring back the work ethics that all of us who are in public service, let's be at our workstation. That's first and foremost. Let's be at our workstations. Let's be at the workstation at the required time. because I have been able to visit quite a number of offices in Mombasa, in Nyeri, in Nakuru, in all these places. And there is some level of, I don't want to say, ghost workers.
Yes.
You are working, but you don't want to be at workstation at the required time. Essentially, if you are supposed to be reporting in office at 8 a.m. and you come at 10 a.m. or you are basically late, or you go there and you stay for 1 hour and you go to town and do other things, you are a ghost worker. You are not doing what you are supposed to do. And attitude is everything when it comes to the assignment you are given. If you are not reporting at the right time, then the attitude is a bit questionable.
Yeah.
You may not be getting it right as far as whatever is your assignment is, what you are supposed to offer the services to the people. For instance, I have seen quite a number of Kenyans complaining when they have a service which should be provided by the government, and it takes a week, it takes 2 weeks, and this service essentially, according to the survey charter, should take maybe a day.
Yeah.
For instance, those who are in construction, you need to have your materials tested for construction. I don't know, sand, ballast, whatever you are using, to go and be sure that you are working on a public project. So you need your materials to be tested. There is a department for government which tests these materials, give certification that this is indeed the right materials to use for this particular building. And you take your materials there, they take 2 weeks or a month for you to get an okay. That project which you are implementing, it delays with a month because of someone who is a government employee who decided not to be at workstation at the required time and to put the effort which is required. And at the end of the month, he is expecting the government to pay him or her.
Yes.
So basically what I'm trying to say is that being at the workstation the required time, that is one of my key push. I know there are quite a number of challenges within the public service. Okay? And I'm talking about public service is the entire public service.
Yeah.
Whether you are working with the national government or the county government, anybody who is drawing a salary from taxpayers' money, Kenya's taxpayers' money, is a public servant.
And how are you intending to curb this luxury in the public service? Because, as you correctly said, you visited some of the stations. Nakuru, you're in Nakuru, in Nyeri, in Mombasa as well. And what was your official and immediate finding when you arrived in some of these stations?
Immediate finding is that I'm there at 7:50 a.m. I walk around a little bit, then at around 8:05, I say, let the gate be closed so that I can be able to see how many people are at their workstation. One is clear, Teacher Service Commission employees are always at the workstation before 8 a.m. I saw it in Mombasa, I saw it in Nakuru, I saw it in Nyeri. Immigration officials are at their workstation. I saw it in Mombasa before 8 a.m. and I saw it in Nakuru. Almost 90%.
Yes.
The rest of the departments, government department and government units is a big problem. But that tells you, if there is an aspect of leadership,
yes,
which is in Teacher Service Commission and which is in a migration department, which probably is not in other department or directorate within the government. So what I saw when I got, for instance, in Mombasa, is there is need for us to push the public servants.
Yes.
Whether they county government, whether national government, or the independent commissions, whether it is Police Service Commission, whether it is Judicial Service Commission, all of us, anybody withdrawing salary from taxpayers' money, from Kenya's taxpayers' money, must be true to Article 232 of our Constitution. Because Article 232 of our Constitution, if you look at it, it talks about, I may want to go through some of those aspects.
Go ahead. But even as you are looking for that, Waziri, there is that aspect of corruption and governance, which is one of the biggest and significant hindrances to effective service delivery. And I would like you to respond to that, even as you are also looking for that Article 232. How are you intending to curb corruption when it comes to governance and service delivery?
Basically, there is an independent body which deals with corruption, and that is the Anti-Corruption Commission.
Yes.
It is there. It is an independent institution which deals with the corruption, and I think it is doing a good job. Of course, when I came into the office, there was some allegations as far as corruption is concerned in the National Youth Service. And I acted as a minister in charge to ensure that National Youth Service has credible individuals who are working there. Several people were suspended through my leadership, because once you are mentioned or there is investigations which are going on as far as corruption is concerned, and the Corruption Authority Authorities, EACC, has credible investigations which it has done, and all aspects of the investigation showing that there are some case to answer, then our laws requires that you get suspended for a period of time so that those investigations can be done.
What is the process of that? Because you ordered for the immediate implementation of that suspension letter. There are 3, to be specific.
Yes. There are 3 individuals who have been suspended for 6 months. They are getting half pay. And once after the end of 6 months, the ACC will be able to give us the report to what extent they have done their investigation and whether the investigation can be, the report is enough for them to be prosecuted in the court. So the law, the Kenyan laws which tackles corruption cases are there. They only need to be implemented, and anybody within the ministry or within the different state department, which I'm taking care of in charge of the ministry, if you are mentioned in corruption, I will ensure you step aside. There's no doubt about it. So I was talking about the principles and values of the public service, which include high standard and professional ethics. That calls for us to be at the workstation at the right time. It also calls for efficient, effective, and economic use of resources. That calls for, and this morning I have a meeting with the World Bank so that we can see how we can cooperate with the World Bank in coming up with a mobile application which every public servant will be required to download. And within this mobile application, we'll be able to do much more on that platform as public servant in terms of monitoring and evaluation of how we are conducting our duties at our workstation. So it calls us for efficient, effective, and economic use of resources. It also calls us for responsive, prompt, effective, impartial, and equitable provision of the services. It also calls for involvement of the people in the process of policy making. Also, accountability for administrative acts.
Yeah.
It calls for transparency and provision of public to public of timely, accurate and accurate information. So, and also inclusion of all the men and women, members of different ethnic groups, and persons with disabilities. That is, the face of Kenya.
Yes.
Also, these values and principles of public service apply to public service in all state organs, in both levels of government, as I mentioned, and all state corporations. This is what our constitution calls us to do. So, and when it comes to appointment, it should be fair competition and merit as a basis of appointment and promotions. When we are talking about human capital development, we are talking about issues of employment and also promotion.
Yes.
And training of public servants. So all these issues are well taken care of by our constitution. And it's upon us who are in charge, and more so myself as a Minister of Public Service, to ensure all this is.
It's good you've mentioned that, Waziri.
But also it is important to mention I'm also in charge of special program. And special program talks about the response of emergency and preparedness of emergencies and disasters across the Republic of Kenya.
I'll come to that shortly. And just the other day you talked about no Kenya should go hungry because of lack of food, at least at this time.
Yes.
But before you get into that, you've talked about promotion. There is a lot of career progression, stagnation.
Yes.
Are you handling that?
Yes, we are taking care of that, but we have a challenge because as we promote more civil servants or public servants, the more it is required for the budget. And the budgeting process, we have a problem as far as the budgeting process is concerned in the Republic of Kenya. We are trying to cut down the budget deficit. At the moment is around 4.7, 4.9% of the GDP. Okay, so if we increase the salaries of the public servant at the moment, of the civil servant at the moment, or if we do what we may call rationalization of ensuring all people who are in public service are paid commensurate to all other state departments. You may see Kenya Revenue Authority is a public institution. People who are working in Kenya Revenue Authority and those who are working in ministry, let's say Ministry of Gender, the same qualification, the same degrees, they are earning different salaries, scales. So we need to do rationalization. For that to happen, the amount of money which we need to invest per year, Victor, is too much money. We may not be able to accommodate that at the moment. But this is a gradual process which we have started working on slowly by slowly, so that in the coming years, it requires about 84 billion Kenyan shilling at the moment every financial year for us to be able to say we have a proper rationalization. That may not happen now, but these are some of the gaps which we have to address through the CAB memo which will be presenting.
I want to take a break, Bwana Waziri, but before we do that, are you aware that there are so many Kenyans, millions of them for that matter, who are facing non-remittance of deductions by the employers?
That is illegal. In government institution, state department, we have ensured that the statutory remittance should be at the source. Should be at the source. Anything that is going to the bank, it should be net. And this is something which the President of the Republic is very clear about it, which I also insisted because I'm under very strict instruction from the president to ensure that statutory deductions are done at the net. And we have implemented a new payroll system, which is ensuring that is done. Yes.
Okay.
There is a new payroll system for all public servants to ensure that all statutory deduction is done from the source. The charge may be at the county levels.
Okay.
But in all the state corporations and all the independent commissions, as well as the civil servants in all the ministries, we have a new payroll system, which is ensuring the net, statutory deductions are done at the source.
Okay.
Yes.
Waziri, what is happening at the NYS?
NYS, we have a lot of things, we have a lot of good things which is happening at the moment. We want to start commercialization of NYS services. We want to ensure NYS is standalone as far as money,
yes,
exchequer money is concerned. I'll also be doing a CAB memo. I'll be presenting a cabinet memorandum next week to ensure we have National Youth Service Enterprise Limited, where we are going to register a company, and this company will be working just like other companies, and all the monies which this company make will be used to grow the National Youth Service.
Yeah.
We want in January to have 40,000 young people, youth, enlisted with the National Youth Service. At the moment, we have 20,000.
Yes.
At the moment, we have 20,000 young people who will be graduating next month. Next year, in January, we will do a recruitment of 40,000. This can only happen if we are able to get monies from its operations. NYS can get money from offering security services. NYS can get money from construction services. NYS can make money from agricultural services. NYS can make money from hospitality services, from textiles services.
Yeah.
So there are many lines of businesses which will ensure NYS is able to do, because it has machinery, it has space, it has land, it has the workforce to tap the market opportunities which are there. And also government can make a deliberate measure to ensure that all the repair works, all the servicing of vehicles are done at national.
Okay, I'm asking that, Mheshimiwa, because there seems to be some sort of deep-rooted procurement issues at the NYS, and actually you called the Public Procurement Regulatory Authority to launch a comprehensive regulatory and comprehensive compliance audit of all NYS procurement and disposal activities dating back to July 2019.
Yes.
That is a lot of work.
Yes.
What is happening at the NYS? That's the next question. From 2019?
Yeah. You see, when you are given a baby, when you have your own baby, that baby, you should take care of that baby in terms of when the baby has some coughs, you should not let that cough to grow until the baby is admitted in hospital. So when NYS, just like any other government institution, we are supposed to nurture government institutions in the most careful manner. These resources which are entrusted at NYS and other government institutions, they are public resources. And if there is an iota of that these resources may be misused to some extent by any individual, by cartels, as a man in charge, you should be very diligent in terms of ensuring you are administering proper doses of medicine so that that baby may not find itself in ICU. So NYS is an institution which we should take care of. And as a man in charge, I'm taking all precaution to ensure NOS will never go to ICU under my watch, under my leadership. That's why I ordered PPRA, because it's a body, is a government institution which does investigations on matters procurement.
Thank you.
To ensure that there is a proper audit of matters procurement and all the procedures and steps which are required in terms of using the resources available at NOS is done following the legal framework in place. So that's why I took, there was some history which was not good for National Youth Service. And history repeats itself. So we have to be very careful for history not to repeat itself. So that's why I'm
and you're sure you're going to tackle it this time around?
Oh yes, yes.
Okay.
That's why I'm in charge, and I'm putting in place all the government institutions to be at watch.
Okay.
Please look at this. If there's an issue, let me know. Look at this. If there's an issue, let me know. Because we have to steer this institution. Because National Youth Service is an extremely important institution of the Republic of Kenya.
Thank you.
We have to nurture it.
Yes.
We have to take care of it. We have to ensure it grows. We have to protect it. We have many young people across the Republic of Kenya who are looking for opportunities to get the training and the skills which are impacted at the National Youth Service. And we will be changing also the curriculum of National Youth Service. From we'll be extending more areas. For instance, mobile repair. If you go to River Road at the moment and Moi Avenue, when your phone is dead, it is repaired there, and the computers and whatever. Those skills are not trained at the moment at National Youth Service.
Okay.
We want those skills to be trained there. So we'll be working on curriculum, not only immersion and carpentry and textile and mechanical engineering and all this, and construction, but also ICT skills in terms of the hardware aspect of phones, computers, and all this to be there, so that our young people can be trained in this aspect and can be more productive within our economy.
Okay. Thank you. I have two questions to ask you, Bwana Waziri. There's some special attention in the special programs department now, and you said that no Kenya should actually go hungry at this time and age because of lack of food. So what are you doing in as far as we have got some arid and semi-arid areas which is quite prone? They have not seen rain for a very long time. Do you have budget allocation to cushion those Kenyans, or what are you doing? Are waiting for calamity to strike?
It is the instruction of the President William Ruto.
Yes.
That no Kenyan should die or sleep hungry because of lack of food. The government of His Excellency William Ruto is committed to ensure every Kenyan in every corner of the country will not sleep hungry, will not be malnourished, and will not die because of lack of food. And that's why we have a state department called special programs. And not only because it responds to the droughts, it responds to the floods, it responds to fires, it responds to any other natural disaster which may occur. And there are a number of institutions in place. It is working closely with the National Youth Service in terms of ensuring the delivery of emergency supplies is done. It also has other institutions like National Center for Disaster Management and several other institutions which we are trying to put in place. So it is a State Department for coordination, for preparedness, and for the response when there is emergency. In terms of the drought, it is true we have about 23 counties which are semi-arid and arid counties. There are those which are semi-arid, which may not require very prompt interventions, but there are those which are arid areas which require prompt interventions at all times. Last week I was in Samburu. I've been in Wajir, I've been in Mandera, because these are arid counties which you require proper ground sensitization and seeing the state of preparedness, getting report from the county commissioners, getting report from the opinion leaders in those particular areas, so that you can be on top of things as far as drought interventions are concerned. And these are instructions of the President of the Republic of Kenya. He's an extremely committed individual to ensure he wants to see that no Kenyans who will die, who will sleep hungry because of lack of food.
Okay.
And we have enough supplies. It is important for Kenyans to know the government of William Samoei Ruto has enough supplies. If there is anyone in any corner of the Republic who is facing hunger, who doesn't have food, don't blame the government of the Republic of William Ruto. Probably there may be some gaps in terms of getting the information, but which I doubt, because we have information gathering from the grassroots, from the chiefs to sub-chiefs, from the village elders, all the way to county commissioners, and these reports are coming to my desk, and we are ensuring proper interventions are being done in a very timely manner. Yesterday or the previous day, that's on Saturday, I was in one of the remote corners of Narok County, in a place called Biro, deep in Narok West, to ensure that no one in that corner of our nation is facing hunger.
Thank you.
And we went there with the relief services or relief supplies. So President William Ruto and his government, he has given firm instruction that let there be enough food for everyone who is facing starvation in those 23 counties. And that is what we are doing. And in case of other emergencies like fire, we are prompt to ensure we attend the fire situation. In this city, Nairobi city, there have been quite a number of fires incidences where government and president and ensured those affected have the relief supplies for the mattresses and blankets and even food to ensure it did. Government is not only responding but also cares. You know, it empathizes with those who are affected, those who are in a very difficult situation at the right time.
Bwana Waziri, we have a segment called How to Make Kenya Great, and I want you to take a look, talk straight to your camera there. How to make Kenya great, and it's a minute kind of. So you'll take 1 minute and go as the cabinet secretary. How to make Kenya great, in your own opinion as a leader. As you also answered that, you also talked about, was it yesterday, that you are going to devolve the supply and distribution of national IDs in all the Huduma centers across the country so that people who have not collected their documents to do so. So please, in under 1 minute, to your camera, how to make Kenya great. How do you go about it in your own opinion, starting now?
We, as leaders in the Republic of Kenya, and more so led by our president, we are making Kenya great by making very difficult decisions which many other administrations have failed to make because of one thing or the other, because of politics. Getting our ambitions below average. And now moving forward, the government of President William Ruto is making decisions, very difficult decisions, which are ensuring not only we are not below average, but we are above average. We want to be at the level of other nations. To implement some of these decisions requires commitment, requires us to adhere to the governing laws of the Republic of Kenya, both the Constitution and other laws which are enacted by the Parliament of the Republic, so that this nation can be guided by the rule of law, and all these programs can be people's, can have participatory aspect of the people. It's not easy, but it requires courageous leaders like the President William Ruto the way he has been very courageous in making difficult decisions. To me, that is how we are going to make this nation great. And all these difficult decisions touch the economy, touch the social life, and touch the political aspect of our nation.
Thank you. That was a good way to end. But Waziri, before I let you go, someone is asking, how are you handling the issue of pay and salary delays in the public service?
Salary?
Salary delays in the public service. Some of the public servants are not getting their salaries right on time.
From where I see, there is no public servant who has gone through salary delays. All salaries are paid at the right time.
Yes.
Yes.
Okay. Well, Waziri, thank you so much for your time. I hope to see you once again in the near future. That is Godfrey Ruku, who is the Cabinet Secretary for...
Geoffrey Ruku.
Geoffrey. Ministry of Public Service, Human Resource Development, and of course, special programs, talking to us 90 days after taking over the mantle of that ministry. Thank you so much for your time, Bwana Waziri. And we are taking a break. GMK continues after this break. Stay with us.
Mimi ni Salim Mvurya, waziri wa masuala ya vijana, uchumi bunifu na michezo. CHAN imewasili Kenya. Na waomba Wakenya wote tuweze kujitokeza kwa wingi, tuweze kushabikia timu yetu ya Harambee Stars. Tiketi tunaweza kulipa shilingi 200, 500 na 1000. Na CHAN iko KBC Channel 1 na KBC Radio Taifa. Tukutane Kasarani. Kenya ni nchi yetu, Harambee Stars ni timu yetu, na sisi ni wazalendo wa Kenya.
Kwanza saizi ndio unampa motisha ya kupigana na wewe kabisa.
I've met a lot of men like Mark who just bark and can never bite.
Said leave. I want to be alone.
You tumia chakula.
Kufanya nini? Sikuelewi.
Na si umesema dad nikaa amerogwa na kama you tumia chakula.
Would you like somebody who killed your own mother? Fiona, who told you that?
Kama uko tayari, wakati utakuwa tayari, utanitafuta na mimi nitakupa majibu ya kila swali unalo.
Liwa mtoto wetu Joyce ndio wachwe hii nyumba. Wewe angalie uone.
Welcome back to Good Morning Kenya. My name is Mike. May we continue with the conversations that are happening right here on this program. Now we address matters to do with the triple threat, that is GBV, that is pregnancies within adolescent age, and also matters to do with HIV. And, you know, these are the things that hinder the well-being of women and young girls in continuing with their life normally. And joining me from Kisumu is Steve Oyugi, who is the Regional Offices Coordinator within Nyanza region of the National Systemic Disease Control Council. If you can hear me, Steve, welcome to Good Morning Kenya.
Thank you, Mike. Good morning.
Oh, all right. Let's get right into it. The triple threat, the HIV, the GBV, and adolescent pregnancies. Why Are these cases considered prevalent, especially when it comes to areas like Kisumu and the Nyanza region?
Thank you. Basically, the triple threat is a triad of challenges, being new HIV infection, mistimed pregnancies, and sexual and gender-based violence among adolescents and young people in Kenya. It is a challenge to the level that is considered a menace as we speak, particularly for the Nyanza and Western region, where the prevalences have been recorded to be high. Now, it's very clear that Kenya is basically having a young population. If you look at our demographic pyramid, over 50% of our population is young, that is 24 years old and below. Ordinarily, it would be expected that this is the population that should be nurtured for the economy to benefit from. Again, we're all aware that Kenya is categorized under low-middle income country, and with that, it's expected to industrialize rapidly, thereby occasioning the need for labor, both skilled and unskilled. And therefore, the emphasis needs to be within this cohort.
Yes, indeed.
Unfortunately,
okay.
Yes.
Yeah, continue.
Carry on, Mike. Yeah, and unfortunately, the triple threat is really threatening to completely disorganize this cohort of population.
Yeah, and now, the triple threat, the GBV, the HIV, and these cases of adolescent pregnancies. What is the nexus between or amongst all this?
Thank you. Yeah, talk of the nexus, and the three threats are intervening in the sense that, look at pregnancies. In this case, it is a proxy indicator to HIV infection. The fact that there's a pregnancy is a clear indication that there was no prevention, and therefore the individual runs the risk of exposure to HIV infection. Sexual and gender-based violence is a contributing factor. A lot of, we would say that there are cases of mistimed pregnancies that are occasioned by violence, rape cases, molestation, amongst others. So the three threats intervene in a way.
In all this triple threat that we are talking about, women and young girls are more susceptible. But when you look at young girls, these are things that interfere with their lives very early. What makes them so susceptible to, especially when you look at adolescent pregnancies?
At the very least, I would describe the triple threat as very disruptive. It is disruptive in the sense that the young girls, the girls and young women of this cohort are ordinarily supposed to be in school, but when the triple threat sets in, then there is a disruption in their education processes, and therefore there is a discontinuation that is expected until the young woman delivers. Now, the government has put in place mechanism for re-entry back to school for the girls who happen to be pregnant in the course of their education process. But again, the time lost can never be recouped. The cohorts that they were with will have been progressed. So we are talking of a year or so lost just like that. So this is very disruptive. Two, the triple threat in a sense interferes quite a lot with the transition. It is official government policy that we are looking forward to 100% transition in education. But unfortunately, because of the triple threat menace, there is a population that we cannot account for. There's a percentage of our young girls who drop off midstream and cannot progress with their education because of the triple threat.
Are there interventions to reach that population that you're talking about?
Great. A lot has been put in place. Programs and interventions specifically designed targeting this cohort of population, and specifically on HIV response, mistimed pregnancies, and sexual and gender-based violence. Now, these are youths, and they are youths whose interests are very dynamic. You design a program today, it will last about 12 months or so, then the dynamics will have changed completely. So then we put emphasis on strategic information to inform the design of interventions and programs targeting this particular cohort. Very vibrant programs are in place that are youth-friendly for that matter, so that we get their attention. Remember, this is a cohort that does not spend a lot of time doing something because of very dynamic interest. And therefore, we have to go by that. In essence, we created safe spaces for the youths so that they can openly express themselves and respond to the service provisions. Again, it's been a priority and deliberate that service delivery points are made accessible. Until now that we are talking of service integration, we had youth-friendly service centers, youth spaces where they could easily access the much-needed services. Otherwise, you would provide services, but the uptake would be very low because you are not speaking to their interests. You are not responding specifically to their needs.
Indeed. And how has, speaking of these youth spaces, with regard to what you are talking about, how would you say the response has been so far?
It's great. That's why we've made strides. The trajectory is positive, apart from specific indicators that we monitor, where we still have a lot to do. But the response is generally very positive. We've managed to reduce by a significant percentage the mistimed pregnancies from a high of 30% or so 10 years ago to where we are. When we go to the specific numbers, and this varies from one county to the other, we've managed to bring down the number of mistimed pregnancies by greater percentage, but a lot still needs to be done.
Indeed. Now, looking on matters to do with the gender-based violence, and looking at Nyanza region, how would you say, how widespread is GBV within areas like Kisumu?
Sexual and gender-based violence remains a problem, a challenge for that matter, in the response to the HIV and even mistimed pregnancy, because it is a cause. Recently, our country has been going through cases, and this continues, of femicide. This is very unfortunate and is something that must be addressed. The positive thing is that there is a goodwill that this must be addressed. Now, talk of Nyanza region, Nyanza and Western, we have cases of sexual and gender-based violence promoted mainly by drugs and substance abuse. And the unfortunate bit is that some of these cases never see the light of the day when it comes to prosecution and dispensing, getting justice for the survivors of these cases. Now, we still have cases of kangaroo courts where cases of sexual abuse, sexual molestation are still being handled at family levels and even at the community levels. This, in a way, promotes the vice, because the sentences that such kangaroo courts would be handing down would not be proportionate to the degree of the offense that's committed. That's why it's very critical and important that these cases are reported and legal processes take place as is required.
What do you think are the barriers that hinder victims of sexual and GBV cases to report these incidences?
Yeah, a lot of cases go unreported, and this is very unfortunate. One, it's due to lack of information. What those who've been subjected to this unfortunate occurrence need to do. So this gap still exists, although it's being actively addressed, but there's still a lot to be done to make sure that everybody is made aware of what they need to do. One, to safeguard themselves against sexual and gender-based violence. Two, on what to do in the event that they fall to such unfortunate incidences. Two, serious documentation and follow-up needs to occur. Every police station today has got a gender-based agenda desk that specifically deals with such cases. But then there is the problem of shame. More often than not, you'll find that people who have been subjected to this, the survivors, feel ashamed. They do not want to, present themselves to these dedicated points so that they report these cases. And therefore, the cases go unrecorded and attended to, which is very unfortunate. Two, as I have mentioned, a good number of at the family level, a good number of cases, the family members would prefer that they are sorted out at that level because they feel, you'll realize that those who commit these offenses are people who are familiar to their subjects. More often than not, they are close relatives or even family members. So when such occur, the family members retreat and attempt to sort out the cases at the family level. And this is very unfortunate and denies those who are subjected to such phenomenon the much needed justice.
Indeed, we are talking about the triple threat that is GBV, HIV, and cases of adolescent pregnancy. Right here on Good Morning Kenya. We take a short break. We'll be right back to continue this conversation.
My name is Salim Mvuria, the Cabinet Secretary, Youth Affairs, Creative Economy and Sports. And I want to tell all Kenyans, Chan is here with us. I want to invite you to Kasarani so you can rally our Harambee Stars team The tickets are affordable, 200, 500, 1,000. Harambee Stars is playing, Kenya is playing. Let's meet at Kasarani. Tuko pamoja.
Got the fear of missing out? Want to keep up with all the latest entertainment news and latest celebrity gossip? From the latest rumors to popping events to the newest fashion trends, here is where you get all the tea or juice when it comes to entertainment, and you get it served on time. All that and so much more on Grapevine every single Monday only on KBC Channel 1. Remember, if you did not see it on Grapevine, then it most probably never happened.
All right, welcome back. We're talking about the interventions to address cases of HIV, GBV, and pregnancy, adolescent pregnancies. And looking at matters to do with HIV, are there ways through which the youth are accessing HIV prevention services, Mr. Steve?
Because if you look at the data of 2023, this cohort contributed to about 22% of the adult new HIV infections during the period under review. And so we have been very deliberate in ensuring that this cohort is tapped into our interventions. We have initiated youth-friendly services that are specifically targeting these young people. I mentioned the cases of safe spaces where they can access the services that they require, particularly prevention services. And so the uptake is good. The uptake is very good. The bottom line is that every young person, every adolescent and young person need to know their HIV status because it begins from there. Those who are HIV positive would therefore be initiated into treatment straight away. Remember, these services are provided by the government free of charge. But where there are cases of poor service uptake, then we look into the reasons as to why. Is it a case of accessibility? Is it the nature of the services? Because youths would prefer to talk to their fellow youths. It becomes a challenge if the service provider exhibits an age gap. Therefore, this would keep them away. So deliberate efforts have been made to make sure that this component is met absolutely.
And are there...
again, when...
Okay, I wanted to know if there are gaps that you think exist when it comes to what you would call youth-friendly healthcare.
Right. It's resource intensive to create and maintain these service points, and therefore there is need for bridging the resource gaps that currently exist in order for the service delivery component to be fully realized as intended. Mm-hmm. And so we are talking of human resources that would enable the service delivery to be optimized. We are also talking of, commodity With the availability of commodity and uptake is enhanced, we are sure to prevent new HIV infection among adolescents and young people. We need also to again up our game when it comes to adherence to treatment. For those who've been initiated into care and treatment, why is it that we still lose some of them to tracing? Why is it that we still don't have optimized compliance, treatment adherence by adolescent and young people? For instance, we've had feedback that the pill burden is keeping the adolescents and young people away from treatment. The pill burden, remember, this is a daily medication that those who are living with the virus have to take. So the pill burden is also making a good number of them to just drop off the treatment. So the challenges still exist, but the good thing is that they are being actively addressed.
Indeed. Let's look at solutions and responses. And at the county level, what are there interventions that are in place to try and tackle the triple threat?
True, sure, Mike. As I mentioned earlier on, some of the risk factors include, though not limited to, poverty. We are also having early sexual debut. The last survey indicated that up to 28% in certain counties within this region had their first sexual contact before the age 15. Again, we are talking of transactional sex. That is a risk factor among this cohort. You remember, sex for gifts. These are vulnerable people. The girls are very young. But because of poverty levels, you might find that a girl is offered a gift in exchange for sex. And you may find that the gift is nothing beyond sanitary pads. And this is very unfortunate. Talk of the poverty index. The national poverty index is about 30%. But then in this region, you talk of 60% in Busia and a low of about 33 in Kisumu. So this is exponential and therefore remains a risk factor. But all in all these factors are actively being addressed. The government has put in place initiatives targeting young people, the youth funds and the likes, that would enable them to establish ventures to, be independent by starting businesses, amongst others. Again, research has shown that when kids are kept in school, then we have delayed sexual debut, their first sexual contact. And therefore, retaining the girls, particularly in school, would safeguard them from the risk of the triple threat. And in this sense, there are a number of bursaries that the government has put in place that are accessible at the county level in different offices, so that the children are kept in school. Despite their family background, their economic status, they are kept in school. Again, research has shown that the lesser the education level, the more vulnerable the girls particularly become when it comes to mistimed pregnancies. The higher the education levels, the delayed first incident of pregnancies. So all in all, there are active interventions that are directly speaking to the risk factors that have been identified, so that we deal comprehensively with the triple threat menace.
Now, in under 1 minute, Mr. Steve, how can communities and young people be part of the solutions to tackle the triple threat?
Thank you, Mike. You will remember currently the Triple Threat campaign is at its peak. Actually, this is a flagship program for us. And the emphasis here, or the main principle, is a one government approach, one community approach in dealing with the triple threat. It took the intervention of the entire government ministries, departments, and agencies to make commitments, deliberate commitments to deal with the triple threat. This also ensures accountability at our levels. And so one of the strategies of achieving this is basically mobilizing the community, offering public education and sensitization so that we realize that this is a problem and we can't continue with the status quo. Again, we have to account for each and every child in the community. So this brings together the GAOs, the general population, the community gatekeepers, teachers, parents, the youths themselves, so that we pull together and become accountable on matters triple threat.
Thank you so much, Mr. Steve Oyugi, for joining us on Good Morning Kenya and talking about the interventions to address HIV, gender-based violence, and adolescent pregnancy right here in Good Morning Kenya. This is where I end this conversation. Don't go too far. Good Morning Kenya continues. Shortly, I'll be right back with yet another conversation. Stay with us.
Kwanza saizi ndio unampa motisha ya kupigana na wewe kabisa.
I've met a lot of men like Mark who just bark and can never bite.
Said leave. I want to be alone.
You tumia chakula. Kufanya nini? Sikuelewi. Na si umesema dad nikaa amerogwa na kama you tumia chakula.
Would you like somebody who killed your own mother? Fiona, who told you that?
Kama uko tayari, wakati utakuwa tayari, utanitafuta na mimi nitakupa majibu ya kila swali unalo.
Liwa mtoto wetu Joyce ndio wachwe hii nyumba. Wewe angalia uone.
Welcome back, and let's talk about the plight of people living with disability. And in studio, I'm joined by Edmund Zakaria Meyua, who is a PWD advocate and champion. Welcome to the program.
Thank you very much.
Yes.
Yep.
How are you doing this morning?
I'm doing good.
Yes.
Yep.
Let's get right into it. The plight of people living with disabilities. You know, the census of 2019 accounted that 2.2% of the population, that is around 0.9 million people within Kenya, are people living with disabilities.
Yeah.
Now, if you're talking about the plight of people living with disabilities, has their plight been addressed from your perspective? Has it been addressed accordingly?
Vile wamesema mimi Edmund Zakaria Meyo. I'm from Nairobi. Yes. No, utaniuliza swali tena na Kiswahili.
Nikuulize na Kiswahili. Yeah. Matakwa yenu kama matakwa ya walemavu yameshughulikiwa vilivyo kulingana na maoni yako?
Kulingana na maoni yangu, matakwa ya walemavu haijashughulikiwa vile inaandikwa kwa maandishi, lakini ukienda in really kwa ground walemavu wana shida kubwa. Yapo.
Ni shida gani unaweza sema zinawakumba?
Shida zinawakumba ni mingi. Kutoka kwa pledge na haifanyiki. Watu wanasema atafanya hivi kwa writing, lakini ukikuja kwa really haifanyiki kwa sababu, for example, like myself, I'm working with the Nairobi City Council, na nimefanya kwa Nairobi City Council over 28 years. Na from the time niliandikwa na Nairobi City Council mpaka takai mahali niko nimefika, hakuna promotion nimepata hata scale moja, hata chochote. Regardless, nimeandika barua saiti kila mwaka naandika karibu barua 2, 3. Hakuna majibu yoyote yenye nimepata mpaka takai yenye naongea. Kutokea hapo sasa, mwaka hii mwezi ya June nilifika mahali nikaona it is enough. Nikachukua jukumu la kuandikia mtukufu Mr. Ruto, president wetu ya Kenya, barua ya kumomba ikiwezekana intervene ili nione kama naweza kupata ka promotion kokote ama wanaweza kuniconsider. Sasa hiyo barua nimeandika 26 of June mpaka takai ndio ningali nangojea majibu kutoka kwa rais wetu wa Kenya intervene nione kama itafanya nini hiyo barua inaweza kuwa considered. Na vile natembea huku nje na meet walemavu wengi sana. I'm championing for them. Nafanya chochote chenye naweza nione kama walemavu watapata yote, lakini mwananchi wa kawaida ukikutana naye atakupromise everything, lakini in the reality hakuna chenye kinafanyika.
Umesema umeongea na walemavu, umepatana na walemavu wengi hapa nchini na umeongea na wao. Wakikwambia ni shida gani nyingi ambazo zinajitokeza ambazo wanasema zinawakumba?
Shida mingi zenye zinajitokeza zinasema zinatukumba. One, kama mimi kutoka mahali nakaa kwa estate mpaka kufika kwa mahali nafanya kazi, getting up yako PSV yako tu mahali nafanya kazi ni disaster. Na ukipata kama unapata matatu ama bus, unapata hiyo bus you cannot enter with a wheelchair. Hiyo bus itapiti mimi nilipe viti 4 badala ya kiti kimoja mimi na msaidizi yangu. Kwa sababu nitalipa watu, nataka niinuliwe na watu wawili. Waniweke kwa gari, warudi wachukue wheelchair waipeleke kwa gari, itakula viti 2 kwa sababu anasema huwezi kuweka kwa corridor ya basi, hiyo ni kidogo. Wamefinya sana mpaka waweke inakula viti 2. Sasa mimi nalipa viti 4 kwa sababu nataka nilipe caregiver, nijilipie alafu nilipe mara 2. Sasa kuja mahali mimi nalipishwa mara 4 badala ya 1. Alafu tukikuja kama basi zingine zimekuja metro, zinafanya hii kazi ya transportation, ni electronic. Hizo basi kitambo kama Kenya bus ilikuwa ina nafasi kubwa sana, hata imewacha mahali pa kupita na wheelchair ama kuingia na wheelchair, hata ilikuwa na ramu huko nyuma unaingia bila wasiwasi. Sasa mimi hii basi zenye zimekuja hata kuingia ni shida. Nikibebwa nikiingia hapo wanasema wheelchair itachafua basi yao. Sasa hata wakiweka hapo makanga anaenda akinungunika mpaka mwisho wa basi. Na mimi nisipoweka kwa corridor kama hizi zenye zimekuja unaweza kuweka kwa corridor, lakini kwa kiti wanataka ulipe tu kiti. Yeah.
Kwa hivyo kuna changamoto katika sekta ya uchukuzi ukiangalia matakwa ya watu walemavu.
Yeah. Tuna changamoto kubwa sana ukiangalia matakwa ya watu walemavu kulingana na sekta ya uchukuzi. Na in the morning, matatu mtu ukiona ukisimamisha atapita tu kwa sababu anajua ni kazi mingi kama ni matatu ya kawaida. Wajua paka wachukue wheelchair kama wataki kuweka ndani. Kitambo matatu zilikuwa na poti waweke juu. Lakini siku hizi matatu hawaweki poti juu. Ni ndani paka uweke ulipie hiyo vitu. Na kitambo vile ilikuanga na poti juu. Huyo mtu anaona ni kazi mingi sana kushuka hapa kuja achukue hiyo kitu apande juu naenda kuweke kwa matatu juu. Sasa hiyo ni changamoto inatusumbua sana watu wenye tunafanya mahali fulani na unatakana ufike mahali fulani and you are on a wheelchair.
Shida hii ungetaka itatuliwe aje kwa mtu yeyote ambaye anakutizama saa hii? Shida kama hii ya uchukuzi kulingana venye umeisema ni kubwa, but kutokana from your own perspective ungetaka itatuliwe aje?
Mimi ningependa itatuliwe hivi. Hizi magari zenye zimekuja pass tuwe na mahali petu penye wametutengea, na wakitutengea hii milango ya kuingia waipanue iwe kubwa. Tukitoka huko na pass, tukitoka huko na wheelchair, unatoka tu straight na unaingia kwa pass na unaenda mahali umetengewa unakaa hapo. Lakini for now ni ngumu sana kwa sisi upande wa transportation.
Ikikuja sasa tumeangazia matakwa ya walemavu katika sekta ya uchukuzi. Tuangalie masomo. Ni changamoto zipi unafikiria zimekumba walemavu hapa nchini na ungetaka zitatuliwe vipi?
Changamoto zenye zinakumba walemavu hapa nchini upande wa masomo. Kama mimi mwenyewe kwenda kwa klasi nilienda nikiwa na 15 years. Na nilisoma nikiwa hiyo 15 years nilisoma kwa miaka term 1 nikajoin standard 1. Wakaona huyu atoshi 1. Term 2 nikapelekwa standard 2. Wakaona sitoshi. Term 3 nikapelekwa standard 3. Ndio nikaanzia hapo kuendelea. Upande wa masomo chenye na tusumbua sisi, tungependa serikali ikiwezekana iweke shule karibu na every ward iwe na shule. Kwa sababu kama mimi mahali shule ilikuwa mbali sana na wengi wetu wanatakana kuenda shule na kutembea wote si rahisi. Kitu ya pili kupata kitu kama wheelchair ndio tembea na mimi mwenyewe nilikuwa nimeunda kitu ya kunipepa nakaa hapa katikati nafunga kamba hapa mbele mmoja anafuruta mbele mwingine nyuma, au ni vijana yetu wakubwa na uterese usiku mkosane wanaamuka hata bila kunywa chai wanakuacha hapo wanaenda shule wewe unapaki peke yako. Ilikuwa inanipiti niita Mose nimwambia Mose nimewachwa mpaka akucha sukumane na hiyo kitu, na tulikuwa tunaenda shule 3 kilometers away kila siku. Hiyo maisha ni ngumu. Ningependa serikali ikiwezekana kwa taka yenye naongea hii make sure shule zimerudi zimekuwa karibu na walemavu. Ndio walemavu wapate masomo.
Na katika hiyo hali ya masomo unafikiria walimu wamekuwa wakiwapea ile support inafaa?
Walimu wamekuwa wanapeana support ya kufaa. Unaweza kuangukia walimu kama ukiingia mahali walimu wanatupenda sana. Hata mimi walikuwa kienda parade every day, lakini walimu walinipea first period. Nilikuwa nikienda parade kwa wiki mara moja. Hizi masiku zingine nikitoka huko naenda class direct. Kwa hivyo upande wa walimu sina shida nao, walimu wako well, want to understand.
Ikikuja ni maneno siku hizi kuna CBC yenye inaendelea siku hizi, the new education curriculum. Kulingana na wewe itasaidia katika kutatua matakwa or matatizo yenye walemavu wana face katika nchi ya Kenya?
Wajua CBC imetuchangacha hata sisi wasasi. Hatuielewi, lakini naona haiwezi kutatua chochote kwa sababu kivyangu mimi naona hakuna tofauti yoyote kwa hizo masomo change inaweza kuchange kwa upande wa mlemavu na vile tulikuwa tukisoma kitambo. Kwa kwa sababu ninaanzikia siku hizi hata kitambo agriculture ilikuwa hata saa hii iko. Kwa hivyo sijaona chochote hapo chenye naweza kuchange mlemavu asikie iko tofauti na wakati ule wetu. Yeah.
Lakini kumekuwa na special needs units within primary schools. Hizo kulingana na wewe hazitasaidia hata kidogo kusomesha walemavu?
Special ziko, lakini ni ngumu sana kuzipata. Unaweza kutembea kama kwa village mzima, kwa sub county mzima utakuta shule kama hizo ni chache sana, walemavu wote hawezi kutoshea. Ni ngumu sana hata kuzijua. Kwanza hii ndio iko na special unit ya walemavu, ni ngumu sana kwa sababu they don't advertise for it. Yeah.
Do you think kuna kuanga na stereotypes ama misconceptions watu wanakuanga nayo ikifika ni kwa mambo ya walemavu?
Kabisa, iko mingi kwa wingi sana. Hata tunai kama mtu kama mimi sasa nimeisoea, lakini tunapata shida huku nje ya kutosha. Mtu akikuona anaonanga kama ameona takataka yenye hata haina maana na yeye. Hata unaanza kuwa kama uko na shida, unamsimamisha, unamwambia unataka kupitisha mahali kama hapo, kama mchaweka ramu kama hii, unaona anakuruka, nafikiria unataka kumuomba. Iko kwa wingi sana kwa binadamu. Yeah.
Ni stereotypes gani zingine watu wako nazo kuhusiana na walemavu?
Walemavu, kitu ya kwanza, hata mimi nikitoka hapa niko na my family, naenda kwa tuka for example, naenda kufanya shopping. Kitu ya kwanza utakuta ule askari mwenye kwa tuka amepewa pesa mingi, wamechange kitambo vile tulikuwa na kopoli. Mlemavu ukifika tu kwa mlango umepewa yako uruti.
So wanafikiria ni kama wewe,
wanafikiria ukiingia kwa tuka unaenda kuomba. Hiyo tu ndio wananchi wengi, hata watu gani wanafikiria tu mlemavu akiingia mahali fulani ameingia anataka kuomba. Hawajui wengine tuko sisi tunajiweza, tunaweza fanya chochote chenye kila mtu anafanya. Yeah.
Ukiulizwa siku ya leo useme ni kitu gani ungetaka kibadilike immediately so that people living with disabilities can have a better life, ungesema ni nini?
Ningesema chenye ningependa kibadilike immediately, people living with disability like me, tufaidike. Viongozi wetu, wajumbe, kutoka kwa wajumbe, MCA mpaka marais, wawe wakisema vitu na wanafuatilia. Kwa sababu sahi wana vitu, mashirika iko hapa ni ya walemavu, na ukienda kwa hiyo mashirika inatakana tuwe sisi kwa mashirika zetu sisi ndio tunaiongoza. Lakini unakuta mtu Epopoti ndio anaongoza hiyo shirika. Sasa Epopoti nikimwambia wilija yangu imefunjikia hapa Moi Avenue na nina shida, siwezi kusonga hata mbali, Epopoti atachukua haraka kwa sababu you don't feel. Sasa wamechukua hizo mashirika, wameweka watu Epopoti, hata ukimwambia shida zako anazichukua lightly. Lakini wakiweka mtu mlemavu, ukimwambia tu nimefunjikwa na wheelchair mahali fulani, ama nimekuwa mahali fulani, nimekuwa frustrated na kitu fulani, atachukua hatua haraka, kwa sababu atakiona na hii kitu imefanyika, ikiwa imefanyika na mimi atachukua hatua haraka. Kwa sababu hiyo mashirika imeandika Epopoti kwa wingi sana. Sisemi kuandika Epopoti ni mbaya, lakini sisi walemavu hata tukikuja hata mashirika yetu ni ngumu. Kama juzi hapa Nairobi kwa kaunti yenye nafanya, wameandika watoto wanaoita Green Army. Na sheria inasema 5% of the employee must be people living with disability. Nilifanya hesabu yangu, nilikuta hata 1% kwa hiyo kampuni hakuna. Sasa mimi najiuliza, do they really follow the law? Yeah.
Na mashirika ikikuja ni maneno ya kazi, mashirika ya walemavu, have they been of any help with regard to getting jobs for people living with disabilities?
Mashirika ya jamii kwa upande yangu, na vile nimefanya uchunguzi kwa walemavu wenzangu wengi, haijasaidia sana. Lakini kwa advertise ama kusema wanaweza sema, lakini hiyo mashirika haifanyi ikiwa ni walemavu wangapi wako hapa wanafanya hivi na wanafanya hivi, wanaweza kuletwa karibu wapewe kazi ama wana skill gani yenye ama wanaweza kuwasaidiaje kibiashara. For example, kama hii nyumba inaitwa REMAPS, National Fund for the Development of Kenya. Nakumbuka rais alichanga pesa akaweka kwa hiyo nyumba. Hiyo nyumba ukienda chenye wanaweza kupea tu ni wheelchair substandard. Kama mimi vile niko hivi nikienda hapo nipewe hiyo wheelchair, nikitoka hapo nimekalia kufika Ambassador hiyo wheelchair imefunjika. Haitusaidii chochote. Unatembea na hiyo wiki moja hiyo wheelchair imekwisha. Kwa sababu hiyo wheelchair imeletwa na mtu Epopoti akienda kuipurchase hata juu na purchase wheelchair nikana na purchase ile substandard, ukifika hapo hiyo wheelchair imekufa. Hakuna jenye imekusaidia. Ukienda huko na watoto unasema mimi sijiwezi, nataka hii shirika nisaidie watoto wangu waende shule, wanakuambia hapa we don't tell you the cash. We tell you the only kitu yenye naweza kusaidia kama KBC nini na nini, vitu kama wheelchair, vitu kama hivi, lakini sisi tunaumea huku nje, si mambo vile mnaambiwa kwa pepa ama kwa wanakuja hapa wanaanza kuhubiri. Vitu kama hiyo inatakana, mimi naomba tu serikali ichukue walemavu, ichue wenyewe, natakana wajimanage. Nikijimanage peke yangu, ukitoka huko kuniambia kama mlemavu mwenzangu niambie school fees mtoto niko naye na shida, nitakusikiza. Lakini wameweka huko watu Epopoti, they don't like us. Kitu ya pili, au watu saidii na chochote, wanachukua tu mambo yetu, wanakuambia fomu ndio enda jaza. Unatoka kama mimi nitoke mahali nakaa Kariobangi South, niende mpaka Njirus. Na Njirus mpaka niende nimebebana kwa gari ya hizi za Uber nini na nini. Hizo pesa zote wendo si tukitoka yenye angesaini tu na kupea, kwa sababu already mtu kama mimi hakuna siku ile nitakuja kutembea. Yangu ni polio vile ni mbada mpaka taka yenye naongea hii, nikikuja nikuambie nataka wheelchair. Tuko na kikakani TC aenda sign ndio ana confirm mimi ni mlemavu. Unataka confirm na mnakana na already unaniona na macho mimi ni mlemavu, natakana unipe msaada yenye na ulisi. Ni kama na watoto niambie nilete, nitalipepa watoto nitakuja nao. Nitakwambia hao watoto ni wangu. Hii ndio birth certificate. Ina rhyme na majina yangu. Lakini sisi tunasikia tu kwa kusema, lakini ina reaction hatuna.
Okay. Tukimalizia, if given a chance, ni nini ungesema kabisa in terms of policy inafaa kubadilika so that people living with disabilities can feel empowered?
People living with disability, mimi jenye nataka tu serikali itilie mkazo au watu wenye wako wanadini with disability, 3/4 ya watu wenye wanashirika na hivi vitu wawe walemavu ili wa feel the pain. Lakini sijui huko mbele kuna gaji, kwa sababu hata nime witness walemavu wengine wakienda upande wa serikali sijui nini wanakulanga nini. Wanafika huko wanakaa wengine hata ukimpikia simu hawezi shika, na tulikuwa tukifanya tu na yeye huko vitu kama angali iko hajapata hiyo kitu. Sasa walemavu waende huko mbele watutetee, tunapata shida huko nyuma. Sio vile watu wanatangaza tu ati hii na hii inafanyika, hii na hii inafanyika, na hakuna chochote chenye kinafanyika.
All right. Thank you so much, Mr. Edmund Zakario, for talking to us about the things or the challenges that people living with disabilities are facing in the country. And I'm sure the powers that be have heard your plea. And this is where we end this conversation. Thank you for tuning in. My name is Mike Migu. Don't go too far. Vivian Ndegwa is up next with Family Check. Stay with us.
My name is Salim Mvuria, the Cabinet Secretary, Youth Affairs, Creative Economy and Sports. And I want to tell all Kenyans, Chan is here with us. I want to invite you to Kasarani so you can rally our Harambee Stars team. The tickets are affordable, 200, 500, 1,000. Harambee Stars is playing, Kenya is playing. Let's meet at Kasarani. Tuko pamoja.
Got the fear of missing out? Want to keep up with all the latest entertainment news and latest celebrity gossip? From the latest rumors to popping events to the newest fashion trends, here is where you get all the tea or juice when it comes to entertainment, and you get it served on time. All that and so much more on Grapevine every single Monday only on KBC Channel 1. Remember, if you did not see it on Grapevine, then it most probably never happened.
Okay, I'm sorry, man. I'm sorry. In campus. Okay. First year, second year, third year. Right, and there we have it. It is a family check, and we get to talk matters parenting in the digital age. This is a conversation that we had started last week, and now we are getting in-depth into it and specifically looking at the how to navigate the challenges and the opportunities that have come with a new digital age. And I am glad to be joined in a studio by, I'll begin on my very far right, and that is Mite. Mite is a trainer, he's a mentor, and he is also the CEO Pro Mentors Africa. Glad to have you back, Mite. Karibu. And then right next to Mite, we have Isabella Mariga, and Isabella is a principal Sitam Schools at the River. Welcome to the show.
Thank you.
And then right next to her, we are privileged to have young people in studio with us today. As we talk about them, it is only right for us to also have them with us, and I will allow them to get to introduce themselves, beginning with you.
Thank you so much. Arnold Zebulon, the Sports and Entertainment Secretary, Zetech University.
Zetech University. All right, Arnold, welcome to the show.
Good morning. I'm humbled to be here. I'm Momboa Moizinga, a student, a scholar.
Mwamboa.
Yeah.
All right. Welcome. Let us get into this conversation. Would you say we are having a problem right now? Matters parenting in the digital age. I'll start with you, Isabella.
To me, I would say no. It all depends from which perspective. Because right now, the kind of parents we have, let me say we are dealing with millennials. And millennials are people now who we can call them immigrants into the digital age. And they are parenting Gen Zs and Alphas.
Yeah.
And so it depends with how you look at it, because it only needs a shift whereby the parents need to understand that times have changed. Once they embrace it, you cannot feel the challenges. Yes, so there's no problem passing.
So it's all a matter of embracing the change that is there. There's no problem.
There's no problem at all.
All right, I will get to Mite because I think he has a different opinion on that, because last time he was here, he mentioned that there's a problem. I believe Mite is okay. Mite, go ahead.
Shida iko. Shida kubwa sana, because the concept of embracing this thing is the problem. And you see, in the generation we are and the generation that we have now, total different. Ideology is different. How we are thinking, how we are reasoning, kuna tofauti kubwa sana. And as the last time in your show we were talking about vile tulilelewa si vile wanalewa leo.
Yeah.
And two, hata sisi ambaye tunalea hao vijana ufala tuko nazo mob. Hatuelewi, hatu understand. Yetu ilikuwa era ya kupigwa kiboko. And in our time ili work.
Yeah.
Today is about talking to them. But kuongea nao siku hizi ni changamoto.
Inakuwa ngumu.
Era yetu ilikuwa pia sign language zilikuwa zina happen. And you could respect that. Madhako anakuangalia hivi, unajua amekwambiaje. Leo madhako akikuangalia hivi, unaniangaliaje mama? You see, there's a lot of difference.
Yeah.
And if we don't work up our game, we may not go the right way.
Yeah.
We need to up our game, and especially those who are mentoring the children, we need to up our game and try to think, how are they thinking? And then the technology may change. It may change kabisa, the way we are looking at things, imebadilika.
Yeah.
Vijana utakuta kwa phone, ako nayo hapo, ako everything. Hata like in school, in university, when you're teaching something nowadays, you must up your game, because they will even Google and ask you a question to see whether you know. Time yetu tu tunajua, tunaambiwa tu.
Whatever you're told goes.
Sasa hii lazima uko up your game, unacheki atakwambia na anakuuliza swali. So a lot is needed.
Yeah.
There's a big difference, but the same parenting, different time, different regimes, but we must change.
Okay. Yeah, and I want to get to hear from the young people in studio with us, the Gen Zs that are here with us right now. Do you feel like you are usually misunderstood by your parents right now? Do they understand you?
Kusema ukweli, misunderstandings iko sana. Yeah, because you can get to a point where like you want to express yourself in some sort of way. And sisi kama Gen Z, this digital era, we tend to express ourselves using the social media. Na our parents, they are not much into that, so hawezi elewa. So unapata kuna misunderstandings mingi mambo between us na them as the parents. Yeah, so hiyo inakuwa controversial kidogo.
Okay. Do you share the same sentiments? Unafeel kama watu hawaelewi, specifically your parents?
Yeah, I would agree with them because being the last one and one of your parents is a baby boomer, the other one is a Gen X. There's that big difference because they're yet to cope up with the new technologies, new trends in town. So there's that a bit of misunderstanding.
Yeah. When did you first have a smartphone or a gadget?
I would say when I was in Form 2, it was a present actually.
When you were in Form 2. Yourself?
I began using a smartphone in class 5. Yeah, in class 5.
In class 5 you had a gadget?
Yeah, I had a gadget.
That you could use?
Yeah.
When is the appropriate time? Is there an appropriate time for children? And speaking about children, I'm starting from age 0 to 18. Is there a particular appropriate time for them to own gadgets?
Okay, we could talk of exposure to digital devices for young ones. Actually, before they are 3 years, it is not advisable, but then the contrary is what is happening. Because they are still developing. In all ways, they are still developing. They are not supposed to be exposed to digital devices before 3 years. Yeah, but then, if you look at what is happening in society, these children, as soon as they are born, they are exposed to digital devices, that is phones, the music. You have a nanny, she wants to go into TikTok, and so the only thing is to get your child to watch cartoons and all that. So the opposite is what is happening, but it should not be before 3 years. Yeah.
Might.
If I look about developmental stages of a child, I think no matter the technology, if we want to form and mentor this kid in the right way, and I agree with her the way she's saying, to me even from class 6, 7 huko, lakini ingine, because a child between class 1, year 1 to year 5, that's when the child is being formed. You're forming so much in that child. And if you look right now, even the television and everything, the programs that we have, they're even distorting the language. Because now language ile tulifunzwa, ni tofauti vile tulikuwa nafunzwa hizo violence. Ziko tofauti na zile wanafunzwa sahi. So the moment mtoto ameanza kuwatch hizo, kuna ile accent anaekewa. So ina distort ile mwalimu. So to me, I think this gadget from class 6 huko ama, to me class 8 could be the best in the whole system. Yeah, but now the challenge is utaenda shule na wengine wako nayo, so the peer influence comes in and start now fighting within the family. But despite the fact the influence of outside, as a parent I stand in my family. The TV is 1 hour. Ikuwa ni laptop is this. So that I try to form this child pole pole. But itafika pahali computer lazima. But the computer, I remember the government at the time they came up with the laptops. If you look the programs that are there, they are very informative. Why not bring those informative knowledge to them? But ukimwachilia tu social media, any mwachilia in whichever level, I'm telling you, another knowledge is being put. So these are computing a child, and we're putting some different software in this child. So itafika pahali huyu mtoto atakuwa distorted. So I think we need to go to grassroots and see, are we mentoring these kids? Is it concept of mentorship? Because parenting today is all about mentorship. It's about working with this child.
But now we can't really avoid the digital age. It's here with us, and the more you deny your child, the more this child will be left behind, because it's already here.
But you must control it.
So there's that control bit, and maybe just even to get to hear from Arnold and Wambua, you know, nowadays even learning, we get to learn online. I'm sure that you actually do that probably in your school. You know, when 2020 during the COVID time, now most people went online, even in terms of working online and also just studying online and all of that. So you study online, right? So when doing that, do you feel like sometimes you get your policed? Is there policing that is happening?
Personally, I would really encourage studying online because to me it has really been a milestone personally, because it allows me to have the freedom of studying at my own pace. Nafanya research zangu mwenyewe nikitaka, and I don't rely basically on books ambazo ziko na handled knowledge, as in kuna content zingine utapata hapa kwa books, but once umepata hiyo chance ya kusoma online, research ni mingi, unapata vast knowledge, vast information ambao ungepata hapa kwa books, unaona. To an extent that unapata you can go to class that you and find yourself you have much more knowledge than the tutor himself, unaona. Respectfully, unapata kuna much more knowledge than the tutor himself, that unauliza mwalimu, nilisoma hii kitu pali fulani, can you clarify on this? Unapata nakwambia nione baadaye after class, unaona. So I think hiyo inasaidia sana. It's nice, it's a nice approach ambayo inafai kuwa adopted with like kila msee adopt hiyo kitu.
Mbona una smile?
I wouldn't say there is much policing in the digital space when it comes to learning. Because how we describe policing is that you are told do this at what time. Vis-a-vis when you start online, physically, maybe it's in the library, you're told it's time. We are closing the library, but in the online space, you get to do it at any time you wish. You can study at night and the morning, of which you get to acquire as much knowledge as possible, and you are also how would I term it? You are also exposed to much knowledge from different sources. So I wouldn't say there's much policing on the online space when it comes to digital learning.
And you know, just to get to know, maybe, I don't know, how old are you?
I'm 21.
Oh, you're 21. You're also over 18, of course, because you're in campus. Do you have your parents maybe checking your phones? Does that ever happen?
It doesn't happen.
It does not happen. Same for you.
Same.
It doesn't happen. So just to you, Isabella, you know, just looking at the fact that, you know, no one really checks what they're checking online. They're over the age of 18, right? So maybe how can parents best prepare their children for, you know, safe usage of the internet?
Well, quite a great question, Vivian. Allow me to begin from where I can say. I began by saying we have millennial parents and they need to move over. They need to migrate. That is the mindset. For example, if you have moved from your country to another country, for you to understand the culture, you have to be very open for you to survive so comfortably. Let's say, for example, you've moved from Kenya to Australia. You can't just go and say, I want to practice Kenya in Australia. So for us as millennial parents, we need to have that kind of a move. We move completely and understand this is a digital generation we are bringing up, and try to learn. So it begins from there, whereby the parents have to embrace technology, because you need to understand what are these apps that my child is getting into. What is this that is interesting? We get to try to get into their space. That is the only way you can give them time and understand them from their perspective. Secondly, I would say you can have your family value system. And once you have your family value system, this is what you integrate into your children. One, you sit with them at a tender age, let them understand this is what we live for as a family. Yes, we have so-and-so's family, but this is my family. Let me say, for example, this is Mariga's family, and this is how we do things. We are going now to engage into this. I know you want to watch cartoon. I know you want to have a phone, but let's talk. Let's have an open communication. At what age do we give our children phones? And if we are giving them these gadgets, are they helping, or how are we going to go about them? So that conversation around them, understanding, and now setting boundaries. For example, when you talk about, I am giving you this phone, but we must have screen time. It is not like you're going to have it throughout the day. And then we have, like, for example, at home, you have free zones for phones. Like, for example, if it is meal time, you agree as a family, we are not going to engage into gadgets during family time. We are going to bed. Bedtime, there are no gadgets. And so when you set such kind of boundaries at a tender age, as you continue growing, having that open conversation and communication with your children, it will help at some point that even after they have grown and they have become of the age of our dear ones here, 18 and 21, they will be so responsible on what they engage on online. And so for me, I would answer that in two. It depends with the family. It is us as parents to actually move into the space of where our children are. But if you remain behind and you just want to stay there, I can tell you for a fact, you will have it rough parenting this generation. And that family system value, that is what we need to nurture, because one, we cannot neglect our parental responsibilities, saying now these ones, we cannot manage them, things we cannot match their space. No, you must as well have family value system that you need to integrate to your children. Thank you so much.
Might, for the likes of the Gen Zs that we have in studio right now, they're above the age of 18, right? So they get to choose what to do by themselves because they're adults, right? You can't keep policing as much. Maybe how would you approach navigating parenting in the digital age with such?
That's very important. Very, very important. No matter the gadgets and everything, we have come to realize that the social issues, the social, living as a community have gone. Now everybody is about the phone. And the phone becomes my everything. And to some extent, despite the fact in the level of the university research will be there, also it is distorting the mind. And I agree with number one, based on what you have said, how do we nurture from chini? Ndio wakifika in their level university, technology must be there. But I think a lot of mentorship programs need to be there in university and colleges, so that people can talk, people can have conversation, where we put the phone scandal and we talk, realize how do I, unajua baka relationship ya vijana mko tofauti because nikukatiana tu kwa phone. After that unapata ni exbit uko na yeye. You see, so no matter what we say technology, pia tunataka vibe ya kuongea, vibe ya kujuana, vibe ya to try to remove who is me. Hata in good books zinasema, kuna jamaa moja best yangu anaitwa JC Jesus alikuwa anasema, who do people say I am? Utafika baka in JZ imefika to a level in university that they cannot socialize. Even conversation like this one, many of them is a challenge. You come to job opportunity, you tell them to present something, because wamezoea hapa, even now verbal, public speaking, imeenda chini kabisa. Because some things, they don't only develop because of these, they also develop because of practicing it. So to me, I wish we can form many mentors, Gen Z, so that we can have peer-to-peer methodology. If you have like these two gentlemen in your university, we train as parents, train this guy to become a mentor. Then we'll be in a position to mentor another Gen Z. So I wish we can have the peer-to-peer mentorship within the universities. So that the ones alianza vizuri, familia ilikuwa straight, na kuna mwingine alienda kombo kidogo, then they will start influencing each other positively. Then by doing that, we might be now trying to control, not control per se, but trying to take it in the right direction. Because we must live in a community. We need each other.
Would you say kuna hiyo peer-to-peer mentorship among yourselves? Is it something that is there?
Okay, ni kitu yenye iko because I'm sure that my friend here anaweza sema kwamba he has a friend or he has someone, an age mate who he looks up to, like nasema nataka kuwa kama huyu boy, but si wengi though. Naona si wengi, only a few ambao tunaweza look up to, ambao we see them as our role models. We want to learn from them. Yeah.
Unaweza sema ni challenges gani ziko saizi in the digital age? Just as yourself, just looking at maybe the internet and how it has been like for you over the years, what challenges would you say crop up from that?
On a personal level, or on a personal level, I'd say maybe navigating through the internet at times, because new technologies are emerging every day, so you have to be coping up with them. I would term that as a challenge. In the general space or general well-being, I would say the challenge with the digital space is mismanagement. People tend to use technologies on the negative way instead of using them to impact themselves positively. People are just, or rather the Gen Z and Generation Alpha, spend most of their time doing nonsensical things that wouldn't impact them at the end of the day.
Yeah. And also maybe something else that I would say has come up from social media being the in thing right now and everyone being on it is the fact that now there's crazy pressure. Umeingia online unaona 21-year-old like yourself anafanya forex, anaendesha S-class ingine safi, you know. So probably would you say that is also among the things that maybe inakuwa ka challenge, your pressure ya try to now unajicompare na huyu, you're looking at this one is a young person like me, but looking at their life, uko chuo bado unategemea mzazi ya kupatia pocket money and all that, but yeye amesonga sana.
Yeah, I can term that as a pressure that affects a lot. Yeah, personally pia. Acha niongee kimimi.
Jiongelele.
Yes. Tunaingia online, tunapata vile umesema mtu anafanya forex, anaendesha S-class. Then sasa kuna mimi in my small bed sitter. Yeah, pressure increases. Unaona? But what I can say is that easy challenges zote ambao tuna face, hizi pressure zote ambao tuna face, si ati kwa necessarily juu ya success ya mtu ama content creator muona online. I think hizi challenges zinaweza kuwa faced ama zinaweza kuwa solved vizuri tukiingiza parents, whereby the parents watuongeleshe tukiwa that tender age. Hiyo time tumepata simu class 5, 6, 7, wanakuongelesha, wanakuambia Arnold, hivi na hivi na hivi na hivi, isikupatie pressure ama hivi na hivi na hivi, isikupush kuziwatch. Basically, let me say this. For instance, challenge kama ambo most youth face, ama most Gen Zs, okay, hata isikuwe Gen Z, watu hiyo wakipata simu, ni challenge kama ya for instance kama porn, unaona? Porn is not talked about. Napata kama our parents here, hiyo nguvu ya kukaa chini kuambia my brother here, hii kitu ni hivi na hivi, usiangalie nini. I think kuna hiyo uoga parents wako nayo kutuongelesha ama kuongelesha students ama watoto wao about that factor, unaona? To which sasa kama mtoto hajaongeleshwa about that factor ambayo inamsumbua, then aende kwa mwingine, his fellow peer, amwambie nimeona kitu fulani, unaona? Yepi angependa kujua ni nini umeona, unaona? So I think hizo challenges zinaweza kuwa solved, ama we can take them up to the parents, watusaidie on that. They talk to us at that tender age. Vile Mike amesema hapo, during that tender age is when the child is anaform, anadevelop, unaona? But once tumekuwa taught, tumekuwa elaborate on certain factors, we will grow to live with them because itakuwa zimestick. Haitakuwa problem ya kusolve tena baadaye. Itakuwa tumelearn from that age, tuna grow nayo tukijua hivi na hivi isitupatie pressure ama hivi na hivi isitusumbue.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I love that he's brought up the issue of pornography and just, you know, sex and all of that, because also the internet is a big place for predators who just want to use these young people, females and males at the same time. Some actually just groom them from a very young age online, and by the time you know it, maybe your child, something has happened to them, maybe harassment or assault of the sort. Probably just, how do we go about speaking about these things, having in mind that most parents don't talk to their children? Okay, let me not say most. Some parents don't talk to their children about such matters. So how to go about it, having in mind that saizi kuna social media, so they will know about these things very early on, you know, and if it doesn't come from you, you don't know what they get to hear. You can't control the narrative they get to hear. Yeah.
Okay, maybe allow me to speak from a perspective of a teacher. I would say, one, the children we are bringing up, it is about mangi do. First of all, again, it has to start back at home. I am speaking as a teacher that whereby you come across a child who has been exposed, and most of the times they will actually tell you where did they access the porn. It is on their parents' gadgets. And so that again comes back to us as parents. First of all, you have to check your life. What you want your child to be in future, you have to model the same. Because if a child is accessing pornographic materials and some content that is unacceptable in the parent's phone, then we have a problem there. And so it comes down to us, first of all, as parents, we check on what is that. Actually, a parent's example speaks more to a child than instructions. So we have to model this. And then talking about talking to our young children again, there has to be that open communication. There are parents who fear, what age should we start talking to our children about sex education? It begins as early as 2 years. 2 years where you are telling your child, this is your mouth, this is your ear, this is, and so you go all the way to the private parts, calling them by their names.
Not susu. And
not susu, not calling them bad manners. Let them know, and let them know they are precious and they are meant for them and nobody should touch. And so at that age, you have begun sex education. And so if we begin talking to our children at that tender age, and also the school space, whereby now we are not waiting to handle learners when they get to grade 7, 8, when they're already exposed. We begin at that tender age. I am reaching out to my fellow educators that in our school environments, if we can create that space as early as grade 3, as early as preschool, that is when they come in at when they are 3 years, let them get to be taught at that level what actually they can understand. As we continue growing, then now that peer pressure will not take so much like weight on them as they continue growing. Then now maybe I will come in to parents who are so skeptical to allowing their children to access internet and gadgets. I want to tell you the truth. You will deny them that space in your house, they will access it in your neighbor's place. And if not at your neighbor's place, when they meet at school, they will get that information from their fellow pupils. And so it is high time in our homes we get to sit down and have those open conversations about everything. Online safety and what content that you get exposed to. Actually let children know when these adverts are coming in, this is what you need to do. And maybe to close on that, we can have what we call parental controls. Because if you're giving your child a phone, then also you need to invest on how to control some content, not to get into your child's phone. You actually need to find out what is this I need to do so that they are not, because one, AI is very, very smart, actually very intelligent. They're able to tell when a learner is all alone, and they're able to tell when there is a grown-up. When you are with them as a mother, some content might not come on phone. But the moment you move away like this, they have been shown something. And so as parents, again, we have to up our game and invest on online safety.
All right. Might as we finalize on this conversation, how do we go about ensuring that we have built, you know, adults or young adults who have self-worth and have resilience to a point where they're not shaken by things that they see online?
I think one of the great challenge we have today is the parenting in the 21st century. We are talking about the young people, but the parents themselves ni shida. The parents themselves, hata kunyamazisha mtoto kumpatia simu.
Yeah.
Ndio anyamaze.
It's become the new babysitter.
Hata unaenda hata kwa church, mpatie simu, atanyamaza. So I think we need to go back in parenting in the 21st century. Teachers will tell you, the mob, minimal manifestation within the school, it is home. It is the parents. So as we try to have mentorship within the university and everything, we need a lot of talks, a lot of mentorship within the parenting, so that the parents can start understanding some of the effect. You see, like your show, it's now part of it. To tell mzazi, hii unafanya ni ufala, hii ingine iko hivi. So the moment we have more, the church should come on board, various institutions should come on board, so that even mzazi ajue, I should talk about this.
Yeah.
I should talk about sex. I should tell the child about porn, even. If you shy off, atafunzwa na ulimwengu. So I think it's the high time, even we could bring a show on parenting.
Yeah.
How do we parent the Gen Z? So that we can be in the position to bring the mindset. If the parents change their mindset, realize that wale vijana tuko nao si wale wa zamani, si enzi zetu, ni new one. So I think by doing that becomes powerful.
Yeah.
So parents need a lot of seminars and workshops to know how to now to nurture this one. And more programs even in KBC, more program about parenting. Because ignorance huko ni mingi sana. Mingi sana. And then we start pointing fingers to the young people.
Yeah.
Start pointing fingers to this and this. Some they don't know the knowledge that you can control. There is an advert coming. How can you do about it? Yeye ana shughuli. Na ni mzazi. Provide mtoto wangu. Alafu pia wazazi wamewachia walimu. Nimempeleka shule. During the weekends, hata nipeleke swimming. Si tukae huko wa swim. Am I watching this child? Am I looking the behavior pattern? And that's why I'm so happy on CBE. Because nowadays in the CBE, I'm telling you, it is putting me on toes. Because mtu aenda niambia, "Hey daddy, ulikuwa sign hapa." Tulikuwa the other time my child ilibidi tutengeneze doli. Na mwalimu anasema hapana, si ya kununua. So I called the teacher, akaniambia wale wengi kwa darasa walileta doli za kununua. But the teacher wanted, mnaweza shika socks hivyo na kila kitu, mtengeneze na huyu mtoto. You see, I'm involved. We used to do like that when you're small. Why not now? So a lot of parenting is needed in the 21st century. So that can change the mindset.
All right. Closing remarks. Maybe from the university students, what can be done differently? What do you think should be done differently? Because as it is right now, Gen Z mnaekewa lawama mingi sana. You know, so just people saying you are a generation that does not listen, you are a generation ambayo wako na ujuaji, they know a lot. So maybe what can be done differently from your point of view?
I think we should be given a space to air our views out, and people should actually listen to us in the sense that our parents or guardians, the older generations, they should try as much as to reason with us and see the sense in what we are saying. Yeah.
All right.
Two things for both the Gen Zs and the parents too. For the Gen Zs, it's a responsibility. We should all be responsible for actions. We should all be responsible on whatever we are looking up to online. Responsibility will guide us to search and do the right thing. And to the parents, involvement in whatever your child is doing online. Get to know, get to set those parental guidelines that will hinder your child from getting some nonsensical content. At least you'll be able to get to assess whatever your child is doing. Yeah.
All right, Isabella, in just 30 seconds, you know, maybe you can speak to a parent who's watching us right now and they're trying to navigate, you know, bringing up a child in this space.
Allow me to say, one, to Gen Zs, use the gadgets for production, not for consumption. only. And to parents, if you want to be in the memories of your child tomorrow, be in their lives today. Thank you. So availability.
That's really nice. If you want to be in the memories of your child tomorrow,
yeah,
be in their lives today. So be intentional with your parenting. I love that. Mike.
One philosopher say, I created you without you, but I'll not save you without you. You must be part of the story of whatever you bring in this world. If you bring these kids in this world, be part of the story of bringing them. If not like that, watakupiga ngeta siku moja. You'll cry as a parent. Thank you.
Love that. And this is how we get to wind up this conversation that was parenting in the digital space. We've gotten to hear from the young people, and we've gotten to hear from the parents in studio today who also act as educators, both of them. So yeah, I think it's a shared responsibility for all of us to just take part in this. And I can see my colleagues are on standby, Victor and Mike. I would love to get your input in this. Probably just get to know, well, you were starting, you know, with using gadgets. I don't know when exactly you began using a gadget, but when you were starting to navigate, you know, the internet and social media, to be specific, is there anyone who took you through, I wouldn't say a course, but just talked you through the do's and don'ts online?
I think Mike was.
You're throwing it.
Not really. Not really. We didn't have somebody to tell you. But I think we are the generation that was transiting between the internet age and the analog age.
Yeah.
So we didn't have much of guidance because I think at the time, people are just trying to embrace internet, especially in rural Kenya.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, internet is internet.
Yeah.
One, what you choose to do with it is all up to you. Remember what you remember that thing, garbage in, garbage out.
Yeah.
So if we use it correctly, then I think we'll all benefit. I mean, there is no secret about that. But then come to think of it, this is just but a question to the Gen Z. Let me tell you something. It's not something to, it's not an accolade for people to tell you that you're not a listening generation. It's not, don't think that it's a pat on the back that yes, it's a generation that you can do whatever you want without any guidance. Remember what the good book says, that our parents are our God's supper, right? And so if you listen to them, I think the best that we can get is some good blessing.
Exactly, and you know, they have lived longer than us. So
we can't ignore them.
Exactly.
We can't ignore them.
Yeah.
Choose to live a good life.
Yes.
Choose to live a good life. All right?
Yes. Yeah. And there we have it. And just probably just from what you said, Victor, I'm sure you've heard from the Gen Zs here, and I can see our time is up. And they've said it's all about you also getting to listen to them. They can listen, but also have a conversation. Listen to them as well.
Absolutely.
That is where we end this conversation. Thank you so much for tuning in. Goodbye.
Wakenya wenzangu, this August, something big is happening. Chan 2024 is here, and Harambee Stars are ready to shine. Let us come together and support our boys as they fight for glory. Tune in to KBC Channel 1 and let's cheer our boys. Because when Harambee Stars win, Kenya wins. Twende kazi, Team Kenya, all the way.
Got the fear of missing out? Want to keep up with all the latest entertainment news and latest celebrity gossip? From the latest rumors to popping events to the newest fashion trends, here is where you get all the tea or juice when it comes to entertainment, and you get it served on time. All that and so much more on Grapevine every single Monday only on KBC Channel 1. Remember, if you did not see it on Grapevine, then it most probably never happened.
The highlights from the first quarter-final of the Total Energies Women's Africa Cup of Nations as Nigeria's 9-time champions took on a Zambia side hoping to win the competition for the very first time. It was